farm the same camps. They want to end up in the same place on the map. And neither of them are comfortable doing early tempo without falling massively behind. So now the weight is on this Kunkka, who is countered out in the lane to create space for both of these farming heroes. I'm not seeing it. I'm not feeling it.
At least the Mirana and the Jakiro are going to be able to rotate around these lanes. They're great at fighting in front of towers, in front of your towers, and maybe even stretch them out a bit because they have the benefit of slows. They have the chasing tools, like Mirana, for example, does definitely benefit that a lot. And that's where the Kunkka kind of helps you out with it. But Kunkka's not going to be big. I don't see this Kunkka being big anywhere in the first 10 to 12 minutes unless the supports are going to be rotating heavily on a hero called Razor, who, by the way, loves to fight since, like, minute 2.
He sure does. This is a tough one.
Anything can happen, though. This is Division 2. That's the kind of grittiness and the awesomeness about it, that no matter what kind of prediction you can throw, this is still Dota. It's not disappeared anywhere. We talked about the start of last series about how difficult Dota is, or how easy Dota is these days. Division 2 still has that factor of things can go ruined despite having a perfect game. I think in one of our winter interviews we had in Eastern Europe, while this cook is being chased, it was basically a talk of wow. They last picked Rubik. It was a fantastic Rubik game, and they got 7 kills, and they just got stopped. But it was the perfect Rubik game. That was for sure. Like,
yeah,
that we agreed on it. This is a fantastic Rubik game, but they got nothing out of it.
Well, sometimes the things just don't go your way.
Yeah, and it wasn't even the Rubik that was at fault.
And one of those things that is going to happen here, for example, we've seen this before in this division, that Quap versus TA, even if this is a counter matchup where the TA's refraction will always be taken off, where she gets outranged and out-harassed by the Queen of Pain, you can actually, with enough bottling and enough clearing of side camps, keep your CS up to a point where the Quap doesn't actually win this lane, even though she dominates it, which is like it feels like a wild thing to say, but it's true. It is possible for a TA to do that.
Right now, Solji is missing every last hit. Gets one. That's the first one off of the almost third creep wave. Well, Annihilate already started off with 6 CS and 3 to 9. Solji finally picking up the pace. My apologies for that. Bit of a hiccup.
And I'm not saying that Solji is going to be able to pull it off, by the way. No guarantees given. But it is possible.
Definitely possible. It's better to have a mid TA compared to the safe lane TA in most matchups. But this bot lane has a crazy dive going on, and Wake Me Up is going to be first blood for Dad. Dad might just die himself because he's tanking the tower, and actually Lips gets the salve off of the Clockwork. Zor, well, okay, doesn't exactly have too many tools to work with at level 2, so he's going to have to let this one slide.
And gets bullied back time and again by this Clockwork.
Thanos loving this game right now.
Is the battery still holding the point right now as well? Why would I get the cogs? They're not doing anything against the Mirana, and the Kunkka can't walk away from me.
Yeah, yeah.
Picks him up now. Fine.
It doesn't look like this. This rocket flare is not necessarily needed for this top lane. Things are going pretty good for Sunlight. 12 CS, Comfort at 9. TA will also be catching up with a couple last hits, and actually caught up to Annihilate pretty nicely.
Yep. This top lane is going to turn a bit on a Medusa level 3. She is versus a melee laner with the LC, which always feels really good once your snake really starts bouncing. You're not going to have any kill threat ever if the Rubik plays this right because of the Fate Bolt's damage reduction. But at the very least, you should be able to harass the Legion down far enough that she won't ever be coming for you.
Yeah, it's hard for Zor to be aggressive in this lane. He would probably want to utilize his level 2 Tidebringer so much more, but he's in constant threat of Thana just walking into him from the side. So if he extends too deep, Like, this Clockwork's constantly keeping an eye open on the situation. Can I finally walk onto this Kunkka? Now I do. But there's also the Mirana chasing in. Torrent's going to connect. That's going to be a kill on the Clockwork. So Mirana and the Kunkka, they have the longevity, you could say, in this case. So get that kill in the end. Ward, and also in trouble in top. And another kill looks to be going in Felt's way, but there's a Legion Commander, and 2 points in press the attack to remove all those dots. Nice heal coming out, too.
Yeah, I think the Clockwork was kind of asking for it there. I normally don't say
was.
that, but he only had his boots. He was like, you know what, I have nothing to contribute here anymore. I'm low, just end me.
I'm done.
Yeah. Put me in the ground, fam.
Also a player who goes by that name. Mix of words, play of words, or play of letters.
And look at Ion Light here in mid, by the way. The CS is in favor of the Templar Assassin currently. Wildly,
yeah, but TA has been farming this easy camp very vigorously, constantly running there to farm that camp. Always has 3 to 4 creeps to kill. So I think the difference here is been brought up really nicely compared to like experience and amount of money. I think the money is still the one that defines these two from each other, because it's 100 gold difference with the co-op, but still, that's not too big anymore, so you're right.
Zora gets
What's
walked down.
On the right, yeah.
Thana
just goes straight under the tower.
He's back with all of the regen that he didn't have previously. Thank you for killing me earlier.
Wake Me Up is also going to be walking back to the spot lane. No risk on this Razor to be caught by this Mirana. Finally reaching level 3. Razor getting closer to 6. And he has a Midas lined up. Interesting. Falcon Blade Midas.
Yeah, I'd prefer the regular build. I don't think, just because you have the time in this game, because you're up for such a big dual core, doesn't mean that you need to take it. That's risky. So much Steelborger. He's a tanky boy. Teleport right out from under the nose of sunlight.
But now that leaves the Medusa completely alone in this lane, so he's not gonna be farming for quite some time. Rubik's happy to take this one-on-one, almost kills this Medusa. Really pushing the limit here, too. 6 seconds for another Fate Bolt. Comfort's gotta be careful. Rubik might just turn around.
Snake.
Or not. Yeah.
Got him.
Ward has been revealed. Okay, so I thought he was the smart one, but he just walks under the Medusa's ward, so he's happy to take that one.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
A decent outcome for Felt. Oh, they didn't get the cogs to get the... Okay, and a decent outcome from Felt, considering the laning stage. TA, the hero that needs to have a good game, is onto a good game. Think about the 48 CS she's picked up. But Medusa, 24, Kunkka at 18. This was expected that their side lanes are going to take a beating.
Yep, it was. And normally this is where you'd say, right, fine, my mid-hero just has to go and make the Templar, right? But this is a Templar Assassin. We know how fragile she is. We know how risky this is. You never see a Blink Dagger first anymore either. Sometimes on these TAs that are forced to play a fast game, but many of them just simply do not want to do it. They would really rather have a Deso first, or Dragonlance.
Yeah, that's and kind of like TA still has, could almost say, the best right-click damage output at 320 minutes, I guess you could say, like considering the amount of damage this hero applies when the right items are picked up. So that's what they're kind of relying on. That even if Kunkka has no farm, or Mirana has no farm, or this Jakiro doesn't have levels, as long as they have the required points into their stuns, the TA can do all the killing. So they just need the levels for the skills, and that's it.
And the opportunity for her to do the right-clicking unpunished.
It also does apply for KBU too, that if they can do the same onto this TA, say Clockwork jumps onto the Templar Assassin and they kill everybody else while the TA is just getting a support kill, well, that's just not good enough for Felt.
No. Definitely not. And right now, I'm just waiting to see where they're going to leverage these one lanes the first.
Smart TA going on him. Fresh DD rune picked up. Nice. Cogs. Arrow is tanked by Thana, but the Torrent is onto the Razor, and this is exactly what we're talking about. You've got the control, and TA provides the damage.
This is how we do it. If Felt can keep this up, I take everything I said about the TA pick back.
Radiant's top tower is
That's a
under
dual
attack.
victory for the LC as a response for what
Radiant
happened in bottom.
structures are fortified.
Fair. You can't just let that slide.
I do want to say, even though Solji is doing exactly what he's supposed to, this man has definitely today been on a playing mood. We looked at that last map, very active early on.
Athena's
Huge
here.
kills, great turnarounds, but right now you're put into a real test of fire right now. The lift comes out, TA pushed away from all of her buddies, and I Annihilate even comes in, gets the slow onto Zor. 240 movement speed, still has the full combo available. Wake Me Up just shot a 1 meter arrow into the web creep, so probably wanted to catch the Quap with it, wasn't probably looking where that arrow was flying out of. Or just wanted more gold.
Possible, but yeah, a bit of an overstay from the TA there, and that is exactly, she needs to retreat again after these actions because she's too fragile. As soon as she's caught, she's dead.
Is under attack.
I would like to see TA go blink before Deso, just because
Yes.
if you get hit by something, you still have refraction and you're able to blink out from harm's way.
Exactly. You need this mobility to take out heroes on the flanks, while hopefully the
Kunkka.
Kunkka is tanking things.
Yeah, Razor's got a lot of right-click damage too, but Razor catches an arrow.
I don't think he's too bothered.
Not too worried about it at the least. Has his Midas of cooldown. Midas on cooldown. The way you want it.
Best Midas.
Being up at 5,400 net worth. TA right behind. Kunkka is sitting at 3,000, so Kunkka's very far behind.
Yeah, we saw this coming from a mile away, right? And this top lane is not really safe for him either. Sunlight has a full level on him and a bunch of damage. He's got a full armlet. He'd love to get himself a kill together with I Annihilate's ult. Still hasn't used Sonic Wave. He pops.
They've tried to catch this Kunkka with the Quap, but that's a second miss from I Annihilate. Quap, who provides a lot of damage, hasn't been able to use any of that damage, really. I think this is one of those games where, like, oh, wait and see.
Radiant's bottom
And
tower
I'm actually
is under
surprised that, yeah, Silborko gets to lay any damage into this bottom tower at all. Is not allowed.
Yep, not at all. I Annihilate gets to blink in for assist gold, even though she does not pick up an assist out of this at all. The catapult doesn't get the tower. 58 HP. Athena's gonna deny it too. So if you thought you were getting gold,
Radiant's
nah.
bottom tower has been denied.
And this is kind of that funny situation that happens when you win your lanes in a game where you actually have a hard time taking the towers. I Annihilate keeps on teleporting around in order to try and find kills because everybody else is just under towers. And he'd rather not go there. It leaves him running around.
Straight to the bottom with you.
only mystery is how you lasted so long.
What's our Medusa looking like? Yasha. Still, well, not even Yasha. Still building it. Comfort came out pretty good out of that laning stage. I'm very surprised Medusa actually did a great job of staying alive. I believe that's because of the Jakiro pick, where Elsie doesn't have proper kill potential without the overwhelming odds. Just having pressed the attack, and this 3-man smoke
Radiant are
does seem
scanning.
to head over to bottom, but there's no hero to jump on even. Is there. They're all stacking up and aligning into this mid lane. Right now it doesn't look like a big risk. Wake Me Up also forced away as Sunlight is heading over. Solji is in almost dueling range. Hookshot misses between two heroes, but the fight does break loose. The duel into the ice path, and it will get the Medusa kill. That's the first one, and we just talked about Comfort surviving fights. Well, not for long. That will be Medusa's first death, and here comes Dad, nicely keeping and zoning the rest of them away. They will get the kill onto the Rubik. Solji finding a double kill on the TA, so not everything is lost. Not all is going too bad for them.
Radiant's courier has been
Not
killed.
being surprised all around. Zor does get the X mark out. Arrow misses.
Are fortified.
Horn will at least be there, but the glyph also used, and Felt will back away from this mid tower. Just a bit of poke damage, force out the glyph. Still waiting for things to kick off. Kuka going for Force Staff first as well, so wanting to take the utility route this time. Get straight up damage at least, but this does buy some time for Comfort to farm. Hopefully we also get Kips back soon enough. Apparently some tech issues going on. Pretty sure we're going to be hearing from her in a sec. Clockwork getting comboed in the river.
They'll never
And
find
Solji picks another. Damn, this TA is getting, I think, way too much than what she should actually be getting. Or 1-1, leading net worth now by 600 gold compared to the Razor. Oh, things looking pretty solid here for Felt. As long as this TA stays in the game and sticks into the game, everything is still possible. And I do hear a Daram in the back. We'll have to still wait for a little bit. Salty goes in for the aggressive blink onto the Warden. Almost takes this Rubik down, but does have that lift to keep the TA away. While Sunlight does want to move in with this Legion Commander. No blink, though, yet. It's on the Courier. He needs it now. And a double smoke from KDU. Nice Ice Path. Stolen by the Rubik to catch the Jakiro. And they will take it if nothing else arrives or is given. And they're going to wait for this LC to walk in. He still has that duel available. Keeps on rushing forward. Solji is going to be able to run out. Wake me up hiding in the tree line. So this Mirana shouldn't be caught either. Things flying out. TA still on the getaway. Looks back in, and LC blinking in, trying to catch the Medusa. Medusa popping the Stone Gaze.
TA caught him
Now on the
alongside.
duel, they get the TA. Has been caught. Solji in trouble. Annihilate comes in with the Sonic Wave, but he has lost the duel, or actually given that duel to nobody. Solji surviving, barely getting caught as well, but KDU are surrounding this hero with a hook shot, finishes off the job. Comer does kill that and does kill the Warden, so this Medusa's getting quite a lot out of it, as the Clockwork's going to be going down too. Comer gets triple on this Medusa, and would you look at that? Suddenly Medusa's leading the net worth, Kips.
That is really not supposed to happen. What are these guys doing while I'm away?
Radiant's middle tower is
A lot of things have definitely been happening, but Felt is now turning the course upside down. KDU, they're banging their heads on the wall after that, because that wasn't supposed to happen. Not even in their worst nightmares. No, well, technically, this is their worst nightmare right now. Blink duel onto the Kunkka, trying to get the kill, but that duel is not going to go through, and might just be the end of Sunlight. There's the tip from Solji. Felt is feeling it right now. Triple tips. Let's go, baby.
Oh yeah, that's just a little after a nice meal. What a treat. And now things are actually looking pretty dicey for KBU. This is a TA who is getting ready to deal the real damage. And the Medusa can now play pretty far up front with the Manta style already finished. There's no aggressive vision left for KBU to make any new plays out of either.
Felt really playing like this is their last game of Dota during this season, because they're wanting to get another one out of this. And I love how someone might have thought that this is the team that lost. This is the team that beat 5 Rats 4 Staff. Like what? Oh, this
Yes.
is exactly the team that is now showing why they won that team. Because 5 Rat 4 Staff was in the top 3. And now if they could take a map off of KD, which is another top 3 team, they might just push themselves forward above anybody else. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves, because the dual victory does go for Sunlight, but he also does lose his life in the process. Wake me up, rolling in for the kill, hookshot, connecting onto Steel Barco. Solji able to get the Melt Strike onto the Clockwork, but as that refraction is up, TA can just blink out.
Dire's courier has
No
been
extra
killed.
bonus kills there for Thena, unfortunately. At the very least, now they get to strike back at this middle tower, though, which is what that entire previous fight was about. Still not easy with the Medusa
Dire's structures
holding the
are
fort behind it.
The
Dire's
tower still
top
kept up, but
tower is under
Annihilate, he
attack.
wants to charge for it. Wake me up, good arrow is needed here, and it actually does go through. Quap down to half HP, Snake flies through. soaks up some damage. Dana also slowed up. Does have the pig pole. You run, piggy.
You better run, Piggy. The equalization in towers feels okay here, but KBO are the ones that are looking to play the tempo here, and losing that mid tower is such a big blow for them in terms of where can you TP to in order to make these fast moves. They keep on roaming into their own jungle to find these pickoffs and find nothing.
Yeah. And Solji is actually at a very strong point on this TA. There's a Grove Bow waiting to be picked up with the Dragon Lance, Deso Blink Dagger. This TA hits hard and from a mile away.
They definitely got her through the hard parts of this game.
They are getting the neutral items that they want. KDU, though, they're not waiting. They're not going to sit and wait for Phil to run at them. Vice versa, they will go to the other direction with this 4-man smoke. Here we can see some of those neutral items looked at as well.
This is about to
Embrace on the Medusa, Philosopher's Stone on the Mirana, Profile on the TA. Those are all really good items for Felt at this point of the game. Trying to hunt the triangle, wake me up, might just pop a smoke. Yep, Annihilate's like, hey, mine's gone. Maybe somebody's behind us. Positioning. But there's also vision provided in that area.
And they're going for the Dusa now.
Is it a bait? Is it a bait in the end? Sonic Wave splits them in two different directions. Annihilate down to half HP, but the press the attack will enable that hero to blink out. Clockwork, though, not going to be as lucky, and Svelte goes for a 5-man smoke, goes to look for more. Dad on the high ground, fresh BKB awaiting there as well. Coming in from the side, coming in from the bottom as well. The duel will instantly go into the TA. TA in big trouble. Solji's dead! Solji's dead! The TA is out, and Comfort now chasing for the rest. Does LC able to close in or at least get some distance out? Left onto Medusa. Dad coming
just
up the
ignoring
side,
her.
sucked up with all of that damage. Oh, Ice Path stolen from the Warden, and another one placed down by the original Steel Barco. Medusa just TPs away. Doesn't want to stay any longer, as Steel Barco also TPs out despite the stolen Ice Path, or the Warden not able to get a second one to connect. 3-1.
3, 2, 1. Orchid on the way, actually, from Dad. Straight in for the Bloodstone here? Or for the Bloodstone?
I mean, honestly, I just want to say that last fight looked good until TA got insta-dueled.
No, like, with Dad not having made their appearance, I think it should be pretty clear that they're regrouping on KBU on top of this high ground where there's no vision for Felt at the moment. So that was a risky place to walk in to at the best.
Smokes were popping, and they were like, we know where they are, but they're behind a tree line. And we've seen how that can backfire. But KBU, they're stacking up under a ward. So pretty much this ward has just revealed the smoke attempt. So do they lay a trap? They could. The high ground positions.
It is possible. Felt would really love to take Roshan, and if this smoke backfires, they can go and grab exactly that.
Dad is trying to bait them in with this Razor in mid, but unfortunately Felt knows what's up. Solji is right in front. Rocket Flare. Oh, and a beautiful Ice Path from the Dekiro. Actually stolen one from Rubik into the Sonic Wave. Now they just need to get the kills done. Now they just need to get the kills. Comfort pushed away. Annihilate's got nothing left to give. Wake Me Up and Zorb both falling down. Steel Borko able to keep them at bay, and Solji trying to hunt some kills, but unable to get this Annihilate swap killed. Looking again, trying to make a run for it. Steel Borko throws in the Ice Path. Annihilate keeping the TA kited, and Solji runs out of life points. And what a play by the Warden.
That was incredible.
Felt knew the smoke was coming. They were set up for it, yet they still stacked up for a perfect Ice Path. Just wow.
Range really catching them off guard there. Even then, you can see how good of a game for TA this is. By the fact that she escapes from it. Yeah, is there a replay of that fight?
I hope there is. That was just a beautiful setup for the Ice Path, but that was so funny as well that they kind of clumped up together for it too. Like that was... I don't think they would have actually expected themselves that to happen. don't know if they remembered that Rubik still had the Ice Path stolen. Though, that ended up paying a heavy price for them, but still the Medusa's in pretty good shape, and KBU, now they just need to push their advantage right now, because the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking.
The clock is ticking. Roshan's still available, and I feel like they're moving on again because they can't give Felt any time to breathe. If they give Felt time to breathe, time to farm, this one can still tip right on over. Dad is a little bit on his own here. But it's because they're going on the back line.
Barco straight under the tower into the duel. Arrow is flying in, and LC's going to be tanking it, but LC also gets a win. And as he wins the duel, that press the attack also removes away the arrow stun.
Stone Gaze being out is very tempting here for KBU, though.
Wanted to
Dire's
get that.
bottom tower is under attack. Dire's
Does end up stealing
structures
the
are
dual breath
fortified.
instead. So yeah, they're getting the dual wins that they weren't getting earlier on with this LC.
Radiant are scanning.
Scan
You could
onto
say-
the Roche pit. Both
Felt
teams.
this. Yeah, Felt's not out of the woods yet. They still need to stretch like an extra 20 minutes in this game.
I do. The Medusa is now at her Skadi, so at the very least you have a physical damage condition on the TA, and you have a Medusa who is not valid as a target anymore, who is going to be making sure that it's hard to kite the TA with these slows, with the constant damage.
Yeah. I just love how Dad on Razor is out farming this Medusa almost.
Yep.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Razor's actually an insane farmer. Plasma Field is huge, as long as you just have enough mana to keep up the spam.
Yeah. Well, you love to see the Falcon Blade, though he doesn't have one, and has instead gone for the Orchid for the +4 mana regen. So he's actually +9 on this Razor. That's a lot of mana regen for an Agi hero.
That's a lot of farming speed.
And that's almost at clockwork. At the X marks, he's still able to hook shot back to his friends.
Thanks to that press the attack shard from the Legion Commander.
The attack has a pretty decent cast range too.
Yeah,
I think
not
somewhere
bad at all.
nearby. Able to cast it from low ground to high ground, from behind trees, from behind cliffs. Annihilate. Yeah, the same thing again. Can't X mark.
And that
That's
is
smart.
one of Felt's big ways to force engagements here. They don't have the greatest jump themselves. It's all
Yeah.
built around standing around this Medusa.
Well, they've got an attempt on the Quap, as this time Sunlight unable to get the initial one, but still Quap a lot of damage, and her own BKB used too. Snake connecting onto the Warden. Has a dual red stolen, but look at this guy moving at 100 movement speed. You ain't going anywhere, Rubik. You're mine. Discomfort arrow. Oh. Oh, that was too good to be true, wasn't it? But again, 157
yeah.
movement speed. Scotty plus Mystic Snake slow. That's just so annoying to play against. So much movement slow.
And they're just moving forwards as like this big front with the Medusa in the middle. And as long as they're allowed to position like that, yeah, it's very hard for KBU to actually fight into them. Right here and right now as well, Stone Gaze onto this Roshan. I'm not sure if you can jump here.
Well, Comfort's going to be able to take the Roach for himself, and Razor has a BKB. Again, the Shard. Be able to counteract the X mark, and he wants to go in with 800 HP. The Satanic pop, but is he going to do enough damage? That's the big problem here. Satanic is going to
lives.
save his life for now, and Solji is going to go down. Annihilate, dropping low as well as the Mirana and the duel coming out onto the backline, trying to take down the Kunkka, and a lot of procs coming in as this Medusa just keeps on throwing in those bolts. And look at that, Comfort is suddenly all by himself, and Jakiro buys in, so he doesn't have to die alone. At least in this cold, cold world. These illusions, so all they're doing, well, not really any damage at this point. So, Medusa's gonna have to chase all of these people all by herself. Jakiro's gonna
Delta
provide some
split.
backup. Yep. Go in every possible direction that he can. Felt used 3 buybacks, and they get nothing out of it, really.
That's huge. No pressure, no vision, no kills. after
Nothing.
securing themselves the ages that they've been waiting for so long. The timing on that Satanic for that couldn't have been much more perfect. He was inches away from death.
And it's off.
Look at him, keeping all of the physical damage busy, while Annihilate sets up for this go on the back line.
Yep. I just love how they also get the duel in the back. And how many procs, honestly, how many procs of Moments of Courage did this LC get just because the Medusa was right-clicking? It felt like that 25% felt like more like 75%. Every single hit seemed to proc it. Just keeps on getting more and more lifesteal despite the Scotty debuff, so LC was happy with that. And KBU just got a really nice team fight for themselves, and this is really going down to them too. Kill everybody else and leave this Medusa up and running, and just ignore this snake lady.
But I think this was the last fight where you can actually do that. There's a Chrysalis on this Medusa now. Demon Edge coming right on in.
Well,
Dire's structures are
is it
fortified.
really? 3 buybacks used in the last fight? Belt is feeling very vulnerable right now. If they lose any heroes, I feel like the Medusa might just back out instantly. Unless they want to force the Medusa buyback, which is also something. But they're going to go with the Kunkka, and Medusa's steeping in. But she's going to have to cancel it too, because that kill goes through way too
Dire's
fast.
top tower is under attack.
Yep, the damage has been stacking up on this LC from the dual wins. Up to 120 now. That feels good, man.
Dire's top tower
Very good
has fallen.
scaling indeed. You're kind of at the point where Elsie's having trouble farming and getting herself big. So you just live off of all these duels, and hopefully you get some kills.
Tower is under attack.
So this Razor co-op duo gets to push high ground and get this tier 3 out of the way, maybe even more.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Reina.
Annihilate can tick over into 25 here as well.
Walk almost got 2-shot there by the TA, and now Razor. The Ice Path by Annihilate keeps them away. Links to safety. They're going to tank the Snake onto 3 heroes. Why not? OG. This rune is about to run out.
Go.
Also spreading
Spell
out.
block.
Reina slowly regenerating with Tranquil Boots. He's been sitting on that high ground position for quite some time now. Arrow does connect onto the Razor.
Walked
Razor's
into
going to be
it.
stunned. And this is the opening here for Felt. But Felt might actually win this one because the LC's dropping low as well. Because you get the Sonic Wave down at the same time. Penny goes in for the hook shot. But now they finally get Solji down. But KBU, they've lost 3 heroes in the process. Maybe even 4. Annihilate goes in for the blink and they don't get the cancel on it. Bop's going to get out. But Felt score a big, successful defense here. The arrow connected at the same time as the LC jumped in on the back line. So that really, really ruined KBU's initiation. Look at that fight. So you see, LC goes in, Dad catches an arrow, and Warden's like, huh? What do I do here? This Medusa hurts, and Comfort's positioning is perfect.
Gets to hit both of the cores at the same time, and both of them cannot move. One of them stunned, one of them dueling. That is exactly what you want as a Medusa, and yet that if that arrow doesn't hit, the entire fight's different. You get the BKB and the Satanic popped over on Dad. He immediately moves on over, helps secure the duel, moves away from that Medusa.
Feed me if you must.
Or just static links the Medusa, so Medusa does no damage, and the fight's completely different. But yeah, being arrowed, you can't really do much. So they're just enjoying themselves. You could really say they're team fight enjoyers after that.
Absolutely. That's every time things go into KBU's favor, Felt seems to find a way to wiggle themselves out from under their threat.
Well, you gotta love the perseverance at least. Not giving in an inch. But for KBU, I don't think anything has really changed at this point. Just keep on going. Felt still has those cooldowns for another 4 minutes. Don't let go of the gas. Felt is pushing out the waves. Annihilate is trying to do his best to at least keep one of those waves pushed in. As it's going to be the bot lane. Try to force the attention of Felt over there. Somebody might have to teleport to defend. Warden denied a bounty rune. Alright.
He did.
Dire's
Rather
Not
than
interested.
give it to
is under
Comfort.
attack.
And this is the last step that Felt is really waiting for here, so that finally their plan will all come together. It is the level 25 on this Medusa. It is the split shot uses modifiers as usual, and that is where the game gets super hard for KVU. Where even if this Razor is standing on top of the Medusa, the rest of his team is going to be dying around him.
They almost killed the Quap and bot. A great catch attempt. Well, not exactly killed, I think that's an overstatement. This Quap is still a 3000 HP walking piece of hunk. Rubik stole an arrow with a force staff onto the Medusa. That was actually pushed by the Marana forward, and Kuka's going to bring him right back.
In.
Might as well. Thana is going to be in trouble here too. The Clockwork's going to be falling. That's a 2-kill set for the Medusa. And here comes the Stone Gaze, chasing away the LC and the Quap. This is a battle of the females, basically, at this point. The LC trying to make a run for it, too. As that Blade Mail popped, and still Barco Wake Me Up, both going down, but they also lose another one, a triple now for the Medusa. Annihilate still continues to reposition. This tidal wave is getting more and more popular in Conca, and I've been missing people actually building it because it's so useful. Forced positioning.
Exactly. I mean, you've heard me go on and on about this, but the amount of teamfight control that you get from this man.
Solji just popped the wrong trap. Places down another one back into the easy camp. He wanted to pop the one on the bounty rune to slow down to get a bit of extra damage there.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well, that has a butterfly. And this needs to be the turning item versus both of these big physical damage heroes, and he is straight on top of the Medusa. She doesn't have the Stone Gaze.
Yep, and he's soaking up damage, slowly turning
damage.
it into his advantage, and now finally overcoming this Medusa. Medusa's at minus damage at this point, but still trying her best to keep the rest of them away. Medusa is doing minus 216 right-click damage right now, and you can see that she's doing absolutely nothing for a couple more seconds, but Solji has more damage to provide, and will take down Thana with that, maybe even the Quap as soon as that Hex ends, but Zor is going to go down first, and Dad is ready with another static link, but doesn't get it out. There's the duel coming out from the LC, and also Iron Island, but look how fast Solji goes down. So fast.
Him being out of refraction there is the big difference maker. He is borderline won several duels just because the LC can't get the refraction out fast enough, but they're finally separated from the Medusa. At the very least to get that kill, but that took so much effort from KBU.
First, the Razor just basically got one shot there. Wasn't able to close in onto the TA, but as you've got two heroes with a lot of attack speed attacking a TA, well, you can say those refraction charges goodbye very quickly. And so, we're still kind of deciding who's actually going to win this game, because it could be either one. Mana going to get hook shot at here. Thana, Annihilate, they're doing some good work here. And Roche has spawned.
Once again, Annihilate walks straight into comfort.
Now, that wouldn't be the first time, would it? Gotta live dangerously on this Quap. Able to blink out. Warden. Oh, Ruby, you don't want to be there. Well, you got a force staff at least, so you can get out, but Teal Barco has a long-range stun called an Ice Path. I connect with the trap, slow onto the Warden. Oh, the Liquid Fire is going to be a bit off target. Doesn't matter. Comart's right-click damage. Comfort's right-click damage is more than enough.
3 clicks is all it takes for this poor Rubik.
1, 2, 3.
Once again, Felt holds their own jungle. How does KBU make an aggressive play here? They see this Roche attempt.
Well, have your Razor stand next to Medusa for 7 seconds and hope for the best.
Pray. So much dire vision here too.
They can easily jump into this pit. So what the result is going to be, I don't even want to dare and dream about it, because they go in for the blink with the duel. They got Roche down to 300 HP, and Roche is about to die, and it's going to be taken by an Annihilate, the one to take it. and they have everything spread around. Solji pushed away, has no right-click damage, but the Medusa does, and Medusa is the one hitting hard right now. Dan is going to be dropping low on HP as he's being forced back, but so is Comfort. He's all by himself and has to bump the Satanic to get some healing out. Tries to finish off this Razor. Razor trying to make a run for it too, as Annihilate's right next to the Medusa. Medusa still getting controlled again. Another Hex will come out, but the arrow is also going to be there, and another Shard, but the LC pushes away, takes down the Jakiro. Solji's going to be there. Annihilate might have gone a bit too deep, and now Dad coming in with the shot, and that should be the end of the Medusa. Might even be the end of the TA. TA gets the blink away from Annihilate, and KBU have successfully infiltrated the Roach Pit to take away a hefty amount of Feld heroes.
At the very least, the Medusa's down so they can push here, but that was once again so bloody close. The TA gets to live there thanks to the level 25 and the refraction charges, and they take down that Aegis of Annihilate without the TA going down.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
A lot of resources spent in that team fight for sure.
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
It still ended up going for KBU. They were able to get those kills and now even force out some buybacks, both from Wake Me Up and from Zor. Again, KBU one step closer to victory. It looked a while like Felt are the ones getting back in control of the game, but to be honest, they haven't even taken down a tier 1 tower in the top lane, so talk about objectives, they're still miles away. But we are getting closer towards the late game. They just need to persevere a little bit longer. EA still hits like a truck, they just need to utilize Solji, but Dad and Annihilate, they're not giving the opportunities for it. Another Torrent into the arrow, and again, Sunlight has the easiest job. He's playing a pause 5 Abaddon in this low ground with this LC.
Oh yeah, but it's also the only thing that makes this high ground push possible right now. Look at all of this spam.
That is soaking up every single ability as well. Zord tries to catch another tidal wave, but not gonna land on any heroes, and it's just down to one lane by Felt. Comfort is back alive with the Medusa, wanting to build a Monkey King bar because of the butterfly up on this Razor. Missing too many hits on the most crucial hero in the team fight.
And she is moving closer and closer to that level 25. Half a level left. And KBU most likely is going to have to fight into this on their high ground go, their last high ground go, which is going to be absolutely brutal.
Take a look at a replay of that Roach fight. Roach was very low. Thana coming in from the side. The hook shot onto Comfort, and Medusa's outside of the pit, force-staffed back in, and Annihilate perfectly lands the timing on the Roach. Gets the kill goes for the Dire team, but still removing the Aegis out of play. And now you see Comfort. He may be pushed back to safety, but he's just running out of teammates. Now, looking at this bot lane, we might have a bit of a fight breaking loose. Dana is super deep right now. Vision placed on the high ground. Comfort instantly removes it. Looking for the hook shot. Lift onto the Medusa. Trying to push Comfort away. Looking for the duel, but the Hex is going to be out first. The Sonic Wave hits onto Steel Borko. Very low HP on this Jakiro. Jakiro might just be dying as well, but another. He places down the Macropyre. Tries to save the Medusa, but Medusa's going to be gone. And that looks like it might just be game. KBU are on the rampage at this point. They're just running them down one by one. A duel onto the TA. Salty going down too inside of it. Triple kill for Annihilate. We're looking at the beginning of the end. That should be it, Pips.
Neither of them have buybacks.
GG.
And just before that Medusa timing hits, just before there's another barrier thrown up into the face of